Hello folks, good afternoon. You're watching Portal TV today. Today is April the 2nd, and this is episode number 7 of SyTech. Today I want to talk about somebody who's near and dear to my heart in his ability to be a great thinker, a idealist in today's environment and economy, and that's Elon Musk. As you know, I'm a bit of a fan of his. He is, of course, the owner of SpaceX, and let me just get right into it. I've got a little report put together here that's called 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, and you'll see why here in just a moment. I've named this that. Elon Musk, raised in South Africa, was always an idealist and a geek. He always needed to fill his mind, never still, always questing and active. Coming to the U.S. for degrees in business and physics, he and his brother wrote the first mapping software in 1995. Now, as you know today, most mapping packages like Google Maps and I don't even think Microsoft Maps is around anymore, give fantastic turn-by-turn directions from point A to point B. Well, that didn't exist in 1995. That was magic, and that's what Elon and his brother helped create. They sold that company for $22 million. After that, he started PayPal, which he then turned around and sold for $1.5 billion. Now, from the sale, he personally made $180 million. And he bet everything on two companies that he's always wanted to build. One was Tesla, and the other one is SpaceX. Both have had their rocky rides, but it was so much worse in the winter of 2008. Tesla was having trouble with an early prototype. In fact, they had something like, I'm not sure how many cars were on the floor, but only 4 of them were certifiable to be able to be delivered to customers. They had a whole army of cars sitting there that could not be delivered because of problems. In addition, SpaceX first 3 launches never made it to orbit. Now, there weren't spectacular explosions or anything like that, but a rocket that can't make it to orbit really is just a very expensive firecracker. I mean, it's not much good to anybody. And on top of that, he was getting a divorce. So it's always nice to know your life mate is going to stick by you during the tough times. And he was broke. So his fortune was gone, and SpaceX and Tesla were running on air. Investors they called to help with Tesla literally told him to F off. And that's a quote from him. Then, the Flight 4 of SpaceX, lifting off in mid-December 2008, was flawless. 3 days later, NASA calls with a $1.5 billion contract to service the ISS with resupply missions. Now, if you've kept up with that, he's already completed 3 of those, and his 4th one's been delayed twice, but should take off within the next couple of weeks. And on Christmas Eve, his Tesla investors, not the ones who told him to F off, I don't believe it was them, the ones who had already believed in Elon, turned around and decided to pour even more money into Tesla. 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. He went from flat broke to on top of the world. All rockets since then have been perfect. Elon wants SpaceX to take men to Mars. And he has even tentatively set a date of 2020 to accomplish this. Now, this is great, as I am sick and tired of hearing the powers that be keep promising us Mars in 20 years over the last 40 years. And that, in fact, that's what the last commander of the space shuttle said, very uncharacteristically for a man who works for the said political entities. Tesla has ended up with the highest rating Consumer Reports ever given and the government's highest safety rating. Now, Tesla runs off of over 7,000 lithium batteries, and the Tesla S goes from 0 to 60 in just 4 seconds, and on a single charge can go about 250 miles. Now, they're looking at improving that here in the near future, but right now it's 250 miles. Elon cannot keep up with demand, even though the car currently goes for about $100 grand. What's in the future for Elon? Aside from the first stage of his his SpaceX rockets that will be able to return to Earth and land upright. If you recall, when you watched an earlier SyTech, that was the Grasshopper model that actually took off, went up about 1,000 feet, hovered and came back down and landed. I showed you a video of that. In fact, go back and watch if you'd like to see it again. When they can do that, land that first stage, the most expensive part of the whole rocket, they'll be sending the cost of lifting pounds into space to a fraction of today's exuberant rate. He wants to reduce, on top of that, he wants to reduce the cost of the Tesla from 100 grand to about 33 grand. 2/3. The problem is that the high cost of the lithium batteries. No problemo. Mr. Musk is going to build a $5 billion plant to research and produce some of the best lithium batteries in the world. The plant, when complete, will make more lithium batteries than all the other current factories combined across the world. Now, I respect Elon. He's a dreamer and an idealist with the bucks. Now, who knows, down the road, Mr. Musk may indeed get us to Mars in 2020. And in a couple centuries of terraforming with asteroid and watery comet catchers, Mars may once again be able to breathe life like it did before. That's a beautiful illustration. I love that. Enough of that. This was my SyTech episode for April 2nd, 2014. As I get past the rough stages here, we're doing better and better. No mic problem. I just had to check it to be sure. Now we'll go on to Titanfall. Bear with me, folks, and we will be back in just a moment.